Margaret Kuhlman of Soul Astrology. This new moon chart of the 28th of May shows Jupiter gradually withdrawing from the grand trine it made with Saturn and Chiron. So the pressure that we have been feeling of that emphasis on the struggle and the pain of survival is gradually lifting, and we're able perhaps more to talk about what we've been discovering. Jupiter emphasizes whatever it touches, and so we have been seeing in strong relief the suffering places in the world where people are struggling with tough regimes or just simply to survive. And many of us will have been aware of those vulnerable places in ourselves and in our relationships where there is a sense of needing to struggle to survive. The old wounds being revealed to be healed. With this new moon in Gemini making a beautiful trine aspect to Mars in Libra, this month is likely to be much more about communicating about all that past difficulty, sorting out how we can make the changes necessary. The thing to watch out for is that we don't think we've done it just because we've understood and communicated about it. The changes still need to be made. That square relationship, the red line between Sun, Moon and Neptune in Pisces, suggests that we could misinterpret what we pick up from each other. So there is a need to tread carefully. And during the month following this new moon, Mars will again square Pluto and oppose Uranus. So our efforts to manifest the changes need to be determined and positive. Mercury, the energy that rules Gemini, is in Gemini itself still, at the very end, making a lovely connection, a sextile, to Venus at the end of Aries. So our actual communications are likely to be very personal expressions of personal need, the need for space, the need to be different. And from the 6th of June to the end of the month, Mercury will be retrograde. So our communication will be likely going over and over these things, always with a view to sorting it out and getting it right. Venus, so close to the South Node in Aries, is suggesting our need to understand personal autonomy. But she moves very quickly into Taurus, so the emphasis is on foundational steps in relationship, dealing with the practical issues from which one can then develop emotional and mental rapport. The practical issues stand out in importance, and when we reach the full moon on the 13th of June, Venus herself sextiles Chiron and opposes Saturn, all at 17 degrees. So for the second half of the month, the emphasis is on manifesting the changes that are required for relationship. And it's all done with love. The foundation is loving, as the earth loves us all. The full moon itself is in Sagittarius, giving us a suggestion that changes can be made more easily if we consider them as experiments or adventures, a new way of doing things, letting go of clinging to our favoured ways, trying something new, doing it for the adventure, not just for fun, which Sagittarius sometimes does, because the vulnerability in the relationship world with Venus sextiling Chiron suggests that fun could be hurtful. So laughter needs to be kind, fun needs to be mutual, tolerance and respect and a developing compassion will work best. The moon making a quincunx to Jupiter, who is, however distant that trine is, it is still part of the triangle. In my email new moon letter, I found myself speaking about the Gemini duality of perhaps the practical everyday world of separateness as opposed to the oneness that we know it all is, and how these two views can be lived. There is a suggestion about mind mapping rather than making lists when you're faced with all the things that need doing. to make a mind map of the whole situation that you find yourself in, with yourself in the middle of it, of the page, and then putting it all to one side and doing whatever arises as it arises in your mind. Doing it, and then doing the next thing that rises, and finding that way that everything gets done. Because Neptune's involvement, firstly with the Sun and Moon at the new moon, and then later with Mercury, as Mercury will be in Cancer for a while, that intuitive sense that if we relax we can hear, we know what it is that needs to be done. And at last, the emphasis I would like to say for Gemini is that there needs to be a lot more listening than speaking, because it is about learning the language of the hearer before we actually speak, so that when we do communicate we're understood. If you would like to read my new moon letter, it's on my website, and I can email you a copy if you let me have your email address. Don't worry. It creates blockages. Your brain is to help you once you have established a relationship with the truth of your surroundings, which includes the personality and body you live in. Be in relationship with all this, and you will find that there is a greater knowledge that can direct you when you listen. Be in communication with the stars, with the wind and water. Listen more than you speak, and you will know what to say when the time comes. Listen. Accept and love.